then when they're telling you you've got to do the right thing for you, for your mental health, to then be a stable parent for your children, yeah? But then when you do that, then they try to use that in their evidence to try and then use that against me,
that you're not a
to
fit
say
mother.
that I'm not being there and I'm not a fit mum because I'm in the mental hospital. So it took me years of analysing and learning the system and the way they work to then be able to fight against them. So I did that, and at one point, so that's a long period, so over 7 years I was really struggling. It took a really bad episode that I had where I committed a crime in 2012, and then I went into hospital and I lost my children for a little while I was in hospital. They had to stay with local authority, and then when I came out I had one diagnosis, which was borderline personality disorder. And that is where, if people don't know, it's where your emotions flip too fast. So you have bipolar, which is a little bit different. BPD is more where your emotions flip too fast, and you have, I call it the lucky bag of mental health, because it's basically little bits of every disorder in one. So there's post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, psychosis, there's signs of ADHD, autism, hypomanic, which hypomanic I do struggle with a lot.
Well, like schizophrenia as well.
No, not schizophrenia. Schizophrenia's not in it, but the psychosis and disillusional and stuff like that is in there. And then go forward more years, I got diagnosed with multiple personality disorder. So that was another incident that happened where the police were involved, and I nearly went to prison for 6 years for that. It wasn't kind of like something that I wanted to happen, but no one was listening to me. I was always fighting for the right help, and that's what hurts me, because I was asking for help. I was asking to be diagnosed. I was asking for them to give me answers of what's going on in my head. They didn't click on until 7 years of all this that I've got a personality disorder. They did say schizophrenia at first, but I was like, no, the voice outside me, that inside my head, and it's not, and I black out and stuff like that. So when they were giving medication, I couldn't hear the voices, so I couldn't know what's coming, because you're blocking out these medication. And then when they stopped giving me medication when I was in hospital, then they seen the switches then, which is different personas, different personalities, different dress sense. And it can be really dangerous for when my mind's like that. If I'm stressed, that's really bad for me, because when I'm stressed I'm more heightened, which means the personalities will come out faster and I'll trip more. So now I've got my second diagnosis, and this is when I lost my kids for about a year. So I've lost my children now for a year because I committed suicide. So I say I committed suicide, and I say that clearly.
You tried to.
No, I didn't try to. Listen to what I'm...
Oh, wow.
So I committed suicide. So that personality that was out was the abandoned child who got abused when I was younger. That's my story.
Oh,
So
wow.
that personality was out. They committed suicide. Not me, Kara, who's speaking. That personality committed. Yeah.
That one's now
So-
in the heavens. That one don't exist anymore.
No, it exists.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
but not
he.
in that
It's not in that.
physical sense.
Yes, not in
Yeah.
that. So they basically half healed because they killed that pain that they was holding on to, that was making me be suicidal for so many years, because they were struggling with that pain of what happened to them. So after 2016, when I come back out of hospital and I've got the court case and I'm fighting for my children back, now the professionals are like, you're too unstable to have your kids. And they was using all these things. I'm like, tell me one time that I put my kids in danger. Tell me one time that you're not trying to make up. So I had all the paperwork, so I had to highlight everything and I had to counteract everything that they said. And I said, not once did my kids get put in danger. So they tried to use what happened on the day was I took my children to the professionals and left them there. And then I went, because my head was going, I knew that the kids couldn't be with me at the moment because I couldn't control what was happening with my switches. So to me, in my defence, I felt like I did the right thing in my view, that I put my kids in a safe place. In their view, which I do understand, they said, but I still abandoned them. That's what they see it. But I said, but in that serious situation, that was high risk for me. So you're professional. So I put them with someone I know who's DBS checked. I know you're safe, they know you. So that was the battle in the court case.
I think it's about finding out what